Yo, Gen Nation, what is poppin'? It has been a minute, more than a minute. I gotta fix something. How the hell are you? This is episode 25. That's right. Episode 25, if I could spell. It has been months since we've done a podcast. Months. We have been on a too long of a hiatus. Too long. But we are here now. And we got some things to talk about. And I thought, since we have some reviews to do, since we have the Game Awards coming up, we have a bunch of things to talk about that I felt like this was the perfect time to come back with an episode and to kick off, I guess, a new season of podcasts. We will be going over the Marvels review. I saw the movie, and I'll give you my non-spoiler thoughts. Spider-Man 2 for PS5 came out. We 100% completed that, got the platinum for it, and we will go over my review for that. We have some gaming news. We have some other entertainment news as far as movies go. Mainly on the comic book side, with a couple of interesting ones. There is a short review for Gran Turismo. I saw that movie a while ago, and I just did a rewatch, and I never really got a chance to talk about it, so I want to briefly say some things on it. But yeah, so we're gonna go over, the nominees, and cast our vote live right here on this podcast. If you are watching on YouTube or Twitch, thank you. You get the visual experience. If you are listening on many of our podcast applications, I thank you as well. And if you want to get the visual experience, feel free to hop over to our YouTube and check us out over there. That is at GGENetwork on YouTube. But we are available, like I said, on all podcasts platforms. Wherever you can consume a podcast, we're basically available. So look for us there at GGENetwork. GGEN, however you want to search it, but you'll find us for sure. So yeah, we do have merch available. We do have to update our merch, I will say that, but it is available. So feel free to click the link. You could type merch in chat or click the link in the description on YouTube, and it'll link you to our product page where, hey, every purchase you make on our merch goes directly back to the stream and helps us kind of bolster and upgrade our equipment. So we thank you in advance. And enough yapping. This is episode 25. Multiversal Podcast. We back. Let's get it. All right. So first up, we're going to kick it off with entertainment, and we're going to end with gaming. We're going to end it with our votes for the Game Awards. And I figured that'd be a good, anchor endpoint where we can dig deep into the nominees the best we can. Obviously, you can't play every game as much as you would want to, but we'll dig deep, cast our votes, and see where we end up at the end. With that being said, we are going to talk about the Marvels. Now, before I get into my thoughts, this movie is bombing on an epic proportion that I didn't know existed for Marvel. Honestly, it's a shame that it's happening. But Disney decided to shoot themselves in the foot and announce before the movie even came out that this movie is going to be available on Disney Plus 4 weeks later, a month later. So why the hell are people going to want to go to a movie theater and spend, if you have families, like big families or whatever, a decent amount of money to go to a movie when you can just fire it up on Disney Plus in a month? I will say though, I saw it in the theater. I saw it the weekend it came out, I think on a Saturday, and it was a great experience. It's definitely a good watch in a theater, I would say that much. But let's get into more of my thoughts on the actual movie itself. So, if you've been paying attention, or if you forgot, I absolutely hated Captain Marvel. I do not like Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. I think she's a very boring character. Boring character. Not that Captain Marvel's boring, but Brie Larson's take on Captain Marvel was very boring, very bland. I just absolutely hated that movie. It was probably, outside of Thor 2, probably the worst movie I've seen Marvel put out. Now, the Marvels, Miss Marvel, the TV show, I was also not a big fan of. Now, she's great, but the show itself, I was like, eh. But I will say, as the season went on, the show got better. So I give it that. It definitely, the longer I was watching, the more I was watching, the more invested I felt myself getting into the story and what was going on. But overall, it wasn't a great series for me. I didn't particularly, it wasn't one of my favorites. My top 3 Marvel TV shows. Now, this is just for the Disney Plus shows. Is Hawkeye, Loki, season 1, and what was the third? I guess Loki season 1 and 2 you pair together, and then the third would probably be, I don't know, man. There hasn't really been many good shows that Disney's put out for Marvel. She-Hulk was terrible. Secret Invasion was very mid. Captain America and Winter Soldier is probably the third one. I would say that's probably the third one. It was more grounded. WandaVision, I was more interested in what was happening away from Wanda than what was happening to Wanda in WandaVision. And that involves Monica Rambeau, which we'll get into with the Marvels. So I didn't like Captain Marvel the movie. I didn't like WandaVision the show. I didn't really like Miss Marvel the show. And 3 characters from those 3 shows and movies that I did not like at all are paired together in a movie. And I thought this movie was going to be awful. Completely awful. So with that being said, I love this movie. It was actually very entertaining. I sat down, I had a stupid pouty face on, like, let me just watch this movie, see how it is. I will say that the last trailer they put out, and it wasn't because they showed me nostalgia with, Tony Stark and Captain America and the OG Avengers. That's not why the last trailer got me. It was the actual footage of the movie that got me. And I was like, you know what? I'll go to the theater and see this. Why not? I'm so glad I did, because like I said, I had a great time watching it. Now, I will say, this isn't a great movie. It's borderline a good movie. But it was a very entertaining movie, and it was very much worth the price of admission to go see it in a theater, I thought. So let's go down the characters. Monica Rambeau, I thought she did good. She was very entertaining. It was cool to see her really get to use her powers in a way that we didn't get to see much in WandaVision. Because WandaVision, she just gets her powers and she doesn't even know what the hell to do with them. So we get to see that she's more evolved, more trained in the using her abilities. So she was great. She was very cool to see with her powers and how her character grew from when we first got to meet her. Miss Marvel, I think her name's Iman or Eamon. I'm probably butchering it, but whatever. I apologize in advance if you're listening. She was great. She was probably the best one of the three. There were some points where it's like it was a little overboard. Her acting was a little overboard, but for, I would say 90%, 95% of the movie, she was great. She acted in a way that a teenager would act when you're meeting your idol, the number one celebrity in the world to you, and you get to meet them, and not only meet them, you get to fight with them. So you get to really see that dynamic of Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel, and how like she's fangirling the whole time, but at the same time she's trying to, you know, fit in and actually be helpful and not be like a distraction or in the way, right? So with that being said, let me get to Brie Larson, because she's the one I hate the most. And I hate to use the word hate, but I had to. I'll say I had to, because in this movie, she was way more likable. You actually saw personality coming out of her, and she was actually fun to watch. And like seeing her interact with Monica and how their relationship is kind of like, it's very how do I say it? It's a difficult relationship because they have such history, but they finally get to see each other face to face after many, many years of Captain Marvel being away from Earth. And you kind of get to see that bond and tension at the same time, and like see them work through it. So I thought Brie did a great job with Monica. Brie did a great job, or with Miss Marvel. And you really got a sense of like, I think she's finally figuring it out. She's finally figuring out how to maybe be herself more and actually contribute to the MCU in a way that I felt like she wasn't contributing in Endgame and Captain Marvel, the movie. She was just a boring, stiff character, and it was just not enjoyable to watch. In this movie, complete 180 on her personality and everything. So I was extremely happy with Brie Larson's performance compared to her previous stuff. The villain's a tough one because she's not a good villain at all. She was written terribly. I think her dialogue scenes were awful. It was very hard to it was very hard to believe what she was saying, and just the delivery of it just wasn't good. And I don't think it was her fault, because I just feel like the writing was just poor, and the direction of that character was poor. But as far as the actual character itself, I 100% understand her motivations and why she's driven to do what she's doing. It makes perfect sense on why she's acting the way she's acting. And it's one of those things where it's yeah, they're the villain, but you understand what they're doing. You know what I mean? You understand why they're doing it. And it's hard to say, it's hard to call somebody a villain when you know the reasoning behind their actions and kind of, I don't want to say agree with it, but you understand why it's happening and you're not shocked by it. You know what I mean? So it's I understood. And I get it. But what she was doing, and I'm not going to get into it, you can't do that. You just can't do it. And you had to be stopped one way or another. So it was hard because I always say, your show, movie, video game is only as strong as your villain for, I would say, 90% of the time. And this villain was not done well. It was not, she just wasn't, she had some cool stuff, but cool things happening, but it's just, she just wasn't a great villain. I don't know how else to say without spoiling things. She just, I don't know. It just wasn't good. It wasn't good. But like I said, I understood why it was happening, why she was doing what she was doing. So it made it less, made it more bearable to watch, I guess, as far as the villain goes. I will say, she had a cool fight with the team, the trio. And I'll get into them as far as the choreography goes. In my opinion, they knocked the choreography out of the park. If you notice, if you've seen the trailers, you know that they switch places. And what's really cool in the movie, you see how that develops. You see how they work through that and how to manage a fight while every time they use their powers, they're switching places. And you get to really see them do, the choreography of it was phenomenal. You're seeing, a punch being thrown with power, and boom, trade places, and it's somebody else finishing the punch. The choreography was just top notch with that. It was so cool to see. I thought they did a great job. I was really impressed with the action sequences and the choreography itself. It was well done. Sam Jackson was a completely different character than he was in Secret Invasion. I'm convinced that Secret Invasion is not in our timeline because that was such a different character. Completely different character. I don't know exactly where Miss Marvel or the Marvels fall on the timeline compared to Secret Invasion. Like, Did Secret Invasion just happen and then the Marvels is supposed to happen after it, or is it happening before it? Like, I don't know. I don't really know where it lies on the timeline because it was such a drastic difference in character between Secret Invasion and the Marvels. Sam Jackson was awesome in this. He was his normal jokey, jokey, but I'ma kill you type of character, like how he always is, how we're used to him being. He was definitely more lighthearted and comedic, but it worked. It wasn't annoying, is my point. It wasn't an annoying comedy. It worked. And I thought it fit the tone of this movie perfectly. He wasn't the old looking, grizzled, almost looking like a homeless person, Nick Fury. He was bald head, eye patch, Nick Fury, kicking ass, doing shit, and it was good. He was awesome. My favorite part, my favorite characters in this movie is Kamala's family. I don't know why they were so heavily involved in this movie, but I loved it. Every time they were on scene, it was just a joy. They always brought, when there was like tension or it was a serious moment, they always gave you a glimpse at the family, or something with the family would happen and it would just like be like comedic relief in like a serious moment. And it wasn't, again, in an annoying way. It worked for me. So they were great. They were great in the show. They were just as great in this movie. The brother, the dad, the mom, and it was funny seeing them more. And it was almost like Blue Beetle, where you see Blue Beetle's family so involved in what's happening in that movie. It was almost like that. Like they were that much involved in what was going on. So it was a treat. I enjoyed it. What I didn't like, there was maybe three things that I really didn't like in this movie. And I can't really say because I don't want to spoil it, but I don't know what they were thinking when they wrote this scene out. I don't know why we had to watch it. I don't know why it was. You could have saved money in your budget if you didn't film those scenes. It made no sense. It was mad annoying, like mad annoying. And I was like, I was so happy that it wasn't long. It was longer than it needed to be, but it wasn't long in the sense of the overall movie. Because if it was a drawn out thing, my score for this movie would be completely opposite of probably what I'm going to give it. So it was just a terrible decision of in direction and writing and everything that went along in producing that monstrosity of a scene. The other thing is, like I said, the villain wasn't good. And then the third thing was it's a spoiler. I'll just say, like, oh my god. Towards the end of the film, they decided to do something, and I'm like, what? Like, why are we doing this? And I'm sure some people are just gonna laugh at it. Some people are gonna think it's funny. It's a cool thing. I feel like most people's not gonna like it, and kind of be like, why did that happen? The same with the other scene that I hated. Like, why was this in here? But outside of that, the rest of the movie was great. It was super entertaining, and I enjoyed myself more than I didn't, and that's always a good thing when you go see a movie. So I would say between the acting out of the main three, Sam Jackson, the family, the supporting characters around all of them, the choreography between everybody in the fight scenes, how they switched between each other made sense, and it was kind of funny in some parts. It was just, I don't know. I left the movie feeling like they finally figured out Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel and Monica Rambeau, and I just felt, I got the sense of like, finally we're here, we're in a spot where I'm not annoyed when I see these characters. I'm actually gonna be kind of excited when they reappear in a future project, probably Secret Wars or something. So yeah, the way, I will say, the way this movie ends, I'm not talking about the end credit scene, the way this movie ends was kind of funny the way they did it, and you'll know what I'm talking about when you see it, because they do it in a way that's very familiar. So it's kind of funny the way they did it, but it's pretty big. It's pretty big news for the future, and a future project that we're probably gonna get now. So I'm excited to see how that happens. I'm trying so hard not to spoil it. And then the end credit scene. Woo! Okay. Now we're getting into we're finally getting into what the hell this multiverse is about. I'll say that much. And we're getting into the nitty-gritty. And it makes me so happy that the next movie due to come out for the MCU is Deadpool. I'm gonna leave it at that. What I would rate this movie, if I were to give it a grade, I'd probably lean more towards like probably like a solid 7. Honestly, 7 out of 10. I enjoyed myself. The fighting and the choreography, like the characters, like I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. It was way better than I thought it would be. It was 1,000 times better than the previous installments of where all these characters came from. And yeah, I would say a solid 7. Now, with this score, it's hard because, like, if this movie came out instead of Captain Marvel, and this was the movie we got before Infinity War and Endgame, Would I score it as high? Would I score it higher because there's no quote unquote superhero fatigue? She was likable to begin with. It would enhance the experience of Endgame. Like, oh, Captain Marvel's finally here, you know, because I enjoyed her in the movie that she was introduced in. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how I would grade this movie if it came out when the hype was like overpowered, when the hype was over 9,000. But because we're in such like a lull, such in like everything the MCU, everything Marvel and Disney does is just bad, like mindset right now. Not many movies came out in this whole saga that's great. You know, we had Spider-Man, we had Shang-Chi, now the Marvels. I honestly can't even think of another movie that was like super enjoyable to watch in this whole saga. Ant-Man annoyed me. It was okay, but you know, the Marvels was better in my opinion. Oh, I'm drawing a blank, man, on everything else that came out. Eternals, we still don't know what the hell's going on with the Celestials. That's just sitting sitting on Earth, like nobody's talking about it ever. Yeah, I don't know, it's just strange. We're kind of in a weird spot in this saga, in this phase, whatever you want to call it. And the Marvels is probably in my top 3 of movies because I can't think of all the movies that came out at the moment that I actually enjoyed, like thoroughly enjoyed. Multiverse of Madness was poorly executed. So I don't know. But yeah, so I'm gonna give it a solid 7. Solid 7. But that's enough about the Marvels. Let's move on. The Sonyverse. Now we're shifting gears to Sony. They announced that Spider-Man 4 is I guess they're starting production, or they're starting to get ready to start production. They also announced that Spider-Man 4 is going to merge with the Sonyverse. So Venom, Tom Hardy's Venom, Jared Leto's Morbius, Across the Spider-Verse, you know, Miles Morales animated. Because if you watch the Spider-Verse, they made all the Sony things canon. They had Donald Glover as Prowler, and you get to see Donald Glover in the MCU Spider-Man talking about his cousin Miles, or his nephew Miles, right? So it's like the animated cartoon movie kind of already blended everything together as a multiverse and said all these different iterations of Spider-Man and their stories are part of their world, right? In different multiverses, but part of their world, and essentially. And so when you think of that, then Miles from Across the Spider-Verse and everything that happened there is now linked to the MCU. You had the way No Way Home ended, leaving the symbiote behind from Tom Hardy appearing with Venom. So now they're connected, and Spider-Man 4 is just going to be a big giant merge and mashup of the whole universe together. Kevin Feige even said, like, everything that has a Marvel tag to it, Fantastic Four, X-Men, the Sonyverse, everything that Marvel does, Marvel Studios, anything that's any Marvel character that's live action is now canon to the MCU. It doesn't matter if Universal owns the rights to Hulk. Doesn't matter if Sony owns the rights to all the Spider-Man characters. Doesn't matter. Well, all the Fox things are owned by Disney now, but back then it wasn't. Doesn't matter that they were anyway. The video games that Insomniac does, across, the animations that Sony's doing for Miles, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Netflix shows, every single Marvel live action character or animated character is all canon in the multiverse. So I'm not surprised that we're getting a merge. I thought we would see Tom Holland appear in Sony projects for Venom and Morbius and stuff like that. Madame Web is coming out, which was an interesting trailer, but nothing crazy yet. I thought he would like be injected into those projects to be like, hey, I still exist. I'm still Sony. I'm still a part of Sony type of thing. But Marvel is allowing Sony to put their other characters and showcase them in a Disney film, in a Marvel film, Marvel Studios film. So their partnership is growing stronger and stronger, and I'm here for it. Honestly, I love to see that. I want to see more. I would love to see Marvel Studios actually take care of Venom and handle Venom in a way that Sony's not doing, because I don't really like the way Sony's handling it. But I'll be excited to kind of see, Tom Holland and Tom Hardy interact with each other at some point and see Spider-Man fight Venom. As long as we don't have to hear Venom's voice. If Marvel is doing the writing and the directing, which they do, we're going to probably see a different style of Venom than we're used to seeing that Sony does. So I'm curious to see how that works. But I'm also kind of excited. Morbius, I don't know. Maybe Marvel Studios can do something with him, but I don't know. I have no hope. But yeah, so look for that. Spider-Man 4 is looking to be a big time Sony Spider-Verse mashup. Next up, a lot of rumors going around. Some are saying Marvel is done with Kang. They're moving on to a new villain as the big bad for the MCU. Then there's reports that Marvel's pivoting to Doctor Doom. Then there's reports that that Jonathan Majors is getting fired. We have, a casting for Doctor Doom. Is it Pedro Pascal? Is Pedro going to be Reed Richards? Nobody really knows what's happening. The latest report is that Marvel is not pivoting away from Kang, and it's much more possible that they're going to recast him. So Majors is probably still going to get fired for his legal issues, and they're just going to recast the character. I said from the start that I'm okay with them recasting. I think it doesn't make sense to just scrap the whole Kang storyline, the overarching Kang storyline that we've been watching this whole saga since Endgame was over. All those Loki episodes. Ant-Man. We had to sit through Ant-Man and go and watch him. All those things happening. And we're building to this Kang Dynasty war with the Avengers. And we're kind of getting close to it, right? We're 3 years away. We're about 3 years away from Kang Dynasty. That's not a long time when it comes to movies, which means they're probably gonna have to start really speeding up production. Now it might get delayed because now they were delayed with the movies that are coming out next year. There's a lot of them got pushed back to the 2025. So who knows what happens? We're probably looking more at like 2027, 2028. But they fired their director for Kang Dynasty. I think they're getting new writers. I think Kevin Feige is finally hearing the fans, because he saw the backlash that She-Hulk got. He saw the pushback and negative feedback about Daredevil and how they're going away from the Netflix model, and now they're going back towards the Netflix model. If you see the Echo trailer that came out, fantastic. It's one of the best trailers that Marvel's cut, in my opinion. It was so good. You had Kingpin in that trailer as he would be in the Netflix show. Not the Hawkeye show. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed him in Hawkeye. Kingpin, I'm saying. But he was a different Kingpin. So it looks like Echo is gonna bring back the Netflix Kingpin. And now that everything, as Kevin said, is canon, why not use a Netflix Kingpin? Why not use a Netflix Daredevil? I know we have the same actor, but the tone of the character, the way he's portrayed, would be slightly different. It looks like they're going to go back to what people liked and enjoyed. And so I think that he's finally listening. And we're seeing if it's gonna start with Loki, we have Loki, the Marvels, we have Deadpool, which is gonna be insane. We have all these things. I feel like we're ramping up and getting to the spot we should have been at from the start. I have high hopes for how this whole saga is going to end compared to how it started, because it started horribly. I think we're finally on the right path, and I love the direction and the execution that Kevin Feige is starting to do on the production side, and getting the right writers, getting the right directors, things like that. I think we're finally getting to that spot where we used to be, right? With that being said, I hope we get to see that Kang Dynasty movie, and it's obviously going to lead to Secret Wars, but we've gone this far with the Kang character. Just recast him, finish the story, and let's move on to the mutant saga. Let's just, I see the finish line. Secret Wars is not that far away. I see the finish line. Pedal to the metal. Let's get through this damn thing and get to what everybody wants, and that's X-Men and mutants and all that crazy shit that's about to happen. So if this report is true, because I'm seeing all types of reports coming in left and right, if this report is true and they're recasting Kang, I think it's the right choice, and I'm curious how it's going to happen. last bit of MCU news. Steven Yeun was leaked to be hired a while ago, and nobody knew what role he had. And it leaked recently that he's going to be Sentry. I don't really have an opinion on this because I'm not too familiar with Sentry. I know he's got like the power of like 1,000,000 suns or something like that. At some points he was a villain or misunderstood. He's mainly a hero. He has the super serum that Captain America has, but times 1,000. So like, he seems super overpowered, right? But a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know. I don't really know much about the Sentry character and what role he's going to play moving forward, other than, you know, help kick ass. As far as Steven Yeun goes, he's a good actor. I didn't think he would be Sentry of all characters. I didn't know who he was going to be. But I'm glad he's in the MCU. He's a good actor. And now it's just a wait and see and how this turns out, to be honest. We're gonna have to see what happens. But it's going to be interesting. Because this is a super overpowered character with a weird past. So we'll see what happens. I got a couple news, big news possibly, if you're into it. Most people are on this one. John Wick 5 is in starting production. I don't know why we need a John Wick 5. John Wick 4 was perfect. It was a perfect way to close and end the series. We don't need a John Wick 5. With that being said, I'll take a John Wick 5. I'll take John Wick 10. As long as Keanu can keep doing it. So I'm curious what this is going to be about, and I'm here for it. So yeah, we have that to look forward to. John Wick 5 coming soon. Now here's one you thought I wouldn't mention. I haven't thought of this movie in years. Harold and Kumar. We have Harold and Kumar 4 coming. I didn't think we would ever get this. I completely forgot about Harold and Kumar. It wasn't even a thought in my mind. It's been so long ago. Since what? The third one with the Christmas one? I'm here for it though. They don't know how to make comedies anymore. So I'm a little scared. How they're gonna do it. But if they get the original writers, the original director, if they get the right team in place and they knock out a Harold and Kumar movie with the right comedy tone as the originals, we could have a banger of a comedy coming soon that we haven't had in a long ass time. So I'm super excited for that. And to close out, I want to do a short review of Gran Turismo. If you don't know, Gran Turismo is a video game. It's also a movie. You guessed it. It's a movie based off of... Now, see, this is where it gets weird because Sony has been killing adaptations, video game adaptations, left and right. The Last of Us was insane. This movie was dope. I highly recommend this movie. We have God of War coming. We have Horizon coming. Sony is on their game right now with adaptations. Twisted Metal is fire. That was such a good show. So they are on point right now. And this movie doesn't doesn't disappoint. If you're getting hyped up for F1 racing in Vegas this weekend, you want to watch a good racing movie, throw on Gran Turismo. Rent it from Amazon, wherever you gotta rent it or buy it, whatever. It's 100% worth it. 100% worth it. I watched this a while ago when it first came out, and I just recently did a rewatch of it. And I enjoyed myself more the second time I watched it than the first time I watched it. And I thoroughly enjoyed myself the first time. This movie, what's weird about this, now going full circle, what's weird about this movie is it's not an adaptation. It's a telling of a true story that happened about the video game Gran Turismo in the real world of racing. It's a story of a kid who qualified in Gran Turismo to go to a pro racing Gran Turismo Academy, where gamers, sim racers all around the world with high track records, high racing stats or whatever, who qualified, they would go to this Gran Turismo Academy, drive real cars, and prove that sim racers can race on the pro circuit because they're so educated in the cars, because they build them in the game. They understand what the braking system does. They understand what the gear ratios are and everything. They understand how to handle the car, because Gran Turismo is the most realistic driving simulator that I think was ever made. It's so well made. I'm not a big racing gamer. Like I'm not too into the sim racers. Like I've played Gran Turismo back in the day, but it's really not for me. But I will say, from playing the game, it's like, goddamn, like if you're in this car, the way it turns is completely different than the way this car turns. Like they have it to a T on how every car is, and these gamers had to qualify to get to an academy to prove that they're legit and can handle a real car on a real track that they've played 1,000 times on a video game, and compete with the best racers in the world on the motorsports circuit. And they do it. It's a true story. The kid does it, and it's a great story. They portrayed it pretty well. I know there's a lot of things that are moviefied, you know what I mean? Like how they Hollywooded it. They made it a little more Hollywood than the original story. I mean, when it's based on a true story, Hollywood is going to do Hollywood things, right? They're going to jazz it up to make it more appealing for the screen, right? But Harbaugh. What the hell is it? I got Jim Harbaugh's on my brain right now because of the Michigan stuff. Sports talk. What the hell is his name? David Harbour? Is it David Harbour? The guy from Stranger Things. The guy from Black Widow's movie. He crushes this film. This is one of my favorite performances out of him of all time. He was so good in this movie. When he was jacked up and amped, I was jacked up and amped. The kid that played the gamer that got to go through all this, he was awesome. It was just like, I don't know, man. It was such a thrilling ride to see the story play out that actually happened based off of a video game. I'm telling you, Sony is dominating in adaptations. They can't. There's nobody can compete with them right now. They are crushing it. So if you, like I said, if you're in the racing mood because you got Vegas F1 racing happening tomorrow, right? The big race, the final race is tomorrow. So if you're jacked up for racing and you need a thrilling movie to watch tonight, Gran Turismo, book it. If you don't like the movie, let me know in the comments why. I want to know why you didn't like this movie, because this movie was a fun ride. All right. That was the entertainment news. This is the Multiversal Podcast, which means we don't talk about just one topic. There are many genres to the multiverse, and we are going to move to gaming. Now, before I get into some gaming news and we get into the Game Awards, I just want to quickly say what I've been playing lately, since I've been gone for the past few months. Since May, maybe. I don't even know how long it's been. 4 months? So what I've been playing is a lot of GTA roleplay. GTA RP. I don't know if you've heard of it. If you have, you've probably seen a lot of the people that I interact with, because a lot of the most popular streamers are in the server that I'm on. So it's been a lot of fun. It's almost been addicting to the point where it's like I haven't really played other stuff because I'm so invested and involved in my own storylines, role playing out my own storylines, and adding to other people's storylines and things like that. It's been a lot of fun, but I have been playing other games, as you know. I'm starting to reel back my RP time and get into the games that I've been neglecting. I started playing Fortnite again because they brought back the OG map. So I've been doing a lot of Fortnite zero build on the OG map. I started Cyberpunk 2077 finally. I've been having fun playing that. If you've missed some of my sessions, you can catch it on YouTube. What else? Spider-Man 2. I have a little review that I want to do with Spider-Man 2, so I'm going to save it, but that game is a masterpiece. I'll just say that. We'll get to it. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing. I've been watching movies, playing these games. I haven't had a lot of gaming time, so it's when I do get a chance to play, it's the main reason why I would always lean to RP, because I always have to play catch up on storylines and see what's happening and what I missed, which is kind of frustrating and annoying. But now that I'm kind of falling back a little bit, I'm enjoying myself playing other games again, and Spider-Man 2 has been phenomenal. So we'll get to that in a second. But we have some big news. Knights of the Old Republic remake. Now, this is a game that everybody except for me has been excited for. The reason why I wasn't crazy excited, I was excited to play the remake only because I've never played the original. Apparently everybody in the world has played the original. Not me. I'm a big Star Wars fan. I've never played Knights of the Old Republic. I've played multiple other Star Wars games. For some reason, I just never played it. Never got a chance to, or whatever the case may be. So, I was kind of excited to play the remake, you know, and get a crack at it and experience it for the first time with the new graphics and everything. And everybody else was excited because they get to relive Knights of the Old Republic again. And news came out that that project is now scrapped. So that's a big blow. That's a major project that a lot, and I mean a lot of people were looking forward to. So shout out to EA, I guess, right? EA controls Star Wars games. Shout out to them for killing the dream. Damn. Next up, it leaked out that The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered is coming in January. Naughty Dog is getting a lot of heat, and I understand why, but I also don't understand why. They're getting a lot of heat because they're not making new games. They're just pumping out remasters and remakes. The last game that they made was Last of Us Part 1 remastered. And now we're getting Last of Us Part 2 remastered. We still haven't gotten the Factions multiplayer game yet that we've been wanting since The Last of Us 2 came out many years ago. So they're catching a little heat for not coming up with something new. And for me personally, I normally don't play remasters unless it's the first time I'm playing the game. I don't really play remakes or remasters unless it's the first time I'm playing the game. The only remaster I really played from start to finish again was the first Spider-Man game. I played it on PS4, and when I bought Miles Morales, it came with Spider-Man 1 remastered, and I said screw it and played it. So I don't normally play it, and I probably won't play this one. However, they did announce that it's going to come with some new missions that were not in the original game. They were scrapped for some reason. So there's new missions to expect, which I'm curious about. There's a new game mode being added that's kind of like a survivor style game mode called No Way Out or something like that, or No Returns, or it's some sort of survivor type game mode that they're adding. They're changing it up a little bit. It's not a full-blown remake when they're, a remake is they're taking the base game and completely switching it up and making it, a lot different than the original. This isn't going to be that different. They're adding a couple missions that weren't in the original game. That was apparently already, done. They just scrapped it in the final production. And they're adding a new game mode. It's not the one that everybody wanted, but I'm curious to see what the game mode is. So this is more of like a wait and see for me. I don't think I'm going to play through the whole story again, although it's one of my favorite games. I just have too many games on my plate to play as it is to revisit a game that I've already beaten start to finish. So that's probably going to be a skip and a wait and see if what they added is worth it. Maybe I check it out. How also to point, if you own The Last of Us Part 2 on PS4, they're going to offer the PS5 remastered version for $10. You can upgrade to the PS5 version for $10. So that's pretty dope. You don't got to pay $70 to get the game that you played already. So if you want to experience it on a PS5 with better graphics, new missions, new game modes, you only got to pay $10. So that's dope. So I give them credit for that. And why Naughty Dog is getting such hate, I don't know. Everyone's doing remakes. People love Resident Evil remakes and remasters. Everyone has been dying for a Dead Space remaster or remake. Zelda was a damn DLC. Tears of the Kingdom's basically DLC to Breath of the Wild. Every Zelda that comes out is like, at this point, it's like nothing new. We get Mario games that are the same freaking game over and over again. And people eat it up. So why are you directing that energy and hate to Naughty Dog when you're probably tweeting your hatred while gaming on your Switch playing a game that's been out 1,000 times? I don't get it. You're just hating to hate? I don't know. I don't know what it is. But yeah, so that is coming in January. So it's coming up quick. Nope, not that. Nope, not that. Where is... Where is... I had something. Oh, here it is. Okay. Okay. We're good. We're good. Black Friday deals at GameStop for PlayStation. I didn't really see... Other than you can get like a bluey Xbox console. If you're into that. There's some PlayStation 5 Black Friday deals out, which you get either Modern Warfare 3 for free or you get Spider-Man 2 for free. If I was you, I'd pick Spider-Man 2. If you haven't bought a PS5 yet, get the Black Friday deal and get Spider-Man 2 for free because you won't regret it. But let's go through some of the deals. There's some PlayStation 5 exclusive games that are available for cheap. We have up first Forspoken. Forspoken was a highly anticipated game, first exclusive for PS5. It didn't do that well in the reviews, but it always looked like a fun game for me. And right now it's going for $17.50. $17.50. That's a 75% discount. So if you're interested in buying Forspoken and playing it, now is probably the time to go pick that up at GameStop if you like physical copies. Deathloop. Now I know Deathloop was probably free. I think it was free one of the months in the past year or two, but it is available for $10 right now. So you have that. The Callisto Protocol, another major exclusive for PlayStation 5, that is going for $5. You can pick that game up for $5 at GameStop right now. Dead Space, the Dead Space remaster that we were just talking about, that is going for $24.99, a little more than half off. Atomic Heart, which is getting great reviews. They got great reviews. A lot of people enjoyed it. It's going for $34.99. It's half off. So there's a lot of exclusives out there. That if you're at all interested in playing, now's the time to pick it up. Also, and your PlayStation Plus, your PS Plus subscription, they're doing a discount, so you can buy it at a discount for Black Friday at the moment. So I would definitely be smart with your money and pick these things up on the cheap while you can. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Let's get into Spider-Man. Let's get into Spider-Man 2. Oh. picture got all messed up. Okay, so I got a lot to say, and we're kind of getting pressed for time here. Spider-Man 2 is a goddamn masterpiece. The story was a 1,000 times better than the first Spider-Man, which I absolutely loved the story in the first Spider-Man. Better than the Miles Morales story. The gameplay was better than both of them combined. Now you're thinking, hey, Spider-Man 1 and Miles Morales, the gameplay is the both of them combined. No, it's not. It's a little bit better. It's a lot better because there's different abilities. You have web suits, web gliders now. It's just like the way you can traverse the city, get from point A to point B in such speed without using fast travel, even though fast travel is available. My God, it is a world's difference. I'm not gonna spoil the story or anything like that. I want you to experience this for yourself. But Spider-Man getting the symbiote was phenomenal. His abilities were so much fun to play. Miles Morales' abilities were so much fun to play. As you know from the Miles Morales game, it carries over and it kind of amplifies itself more in this game. And having the two of them work together and the ability to switch from one character to another in a seamless transition. Chef's kiss. It was perfect. The only time you couldn't switch between characters is when you're in a long story mission where you can only use that one character for that period of time. It'll only allow you to switch when the story wants you to switch in that particular mission. And there's a couple missions that are like that. But for the most part, you can seamlessly switch between the two characters and fight crime and do side missions with whoever you want at any point in time. Kraven is a badass. Venom is a badass. And there's so much I want to say about Venom, but I'm gonna leave it for you to figure out and enjoy. But my God, Insomniac delivers us a game that's nearly perfect, if not perfect, in my opinion. This game delivered on so many levels, I can't even comprehend it. Like, it's very rare for me to be a completionist. And I had to be a completionist for Spider-Man 1. I had to do it for Miles. Although I don't think I platinumed Miles because I have to do New Game Plus, which I didn't want to do at the time. And I may go back and do it, but I don't know. But I was a completionist in Spider-Man 2. I did every side mission. I did every story mission, every little collectible that you had to get. I trophy hunted, doing different things. Like, oh man, I was so like heavily invested in what and where I was going and what I was doing in this game. And the storylines, the side mission stories were fantastic. The main stories were fantastic. Like, it was just from beginning to end a whirlwind of emotion. Honestly, emotional, action-packed, obviously, intense, badass. Like, Insomniac delivered on so many freaking fronts. It's so hard to talk negatively of this game. And if you are, it's because you didn't play it and you're just hating it. Because this game is nearly perfect. And the fact that Insomniac delivered us not one banger of a Spider-Man, not one banger of a Miles, but now a banger and some in a Spider-Man 2 that involved Spider-Man and Miles, and to turn around and give us a Wolverine game in a year. This is probably the best developer in gaming at the moment. I can't think of anyone doing it better than Insomniac right now. I really can't. They've knocked this out of the park. I do not want to see another developer doing a Marvel game for the rest of my life. It needs to always be Insomniac. If I gotta wait for Spider-Man 3 because they want to knock out an X-Men game, they want to knock out an Avengers game, they want to do an Iron Man game, they want to give me a Captain America game, whatever it is, I'll wait for Spider-Man 3 if I'm getting all these games and they're building a universe, because Wolverine is connected to the Spider-Man verse. If they're gonna build me a mini MCU in the gaming world under the Insomniac umbrella, count me in times 1,000. They are the right people for the job. They understand the characters. They understand what the fans want. And they deliver 1,000 times. I can't say much else without spoiling things, but this game is a 10 out of 10 for me. A 10 out of 10. From start to finish, I was so heavily invested in the story. In all the stories. It's a masterpiece of a game. And it was well worth the wait. The hype matched. It's very rare that you overhype something and the game comes out and it matches that overhype. It was an incredible game. And we'll get into I mean, I already said it's a 10 out of 10 for me, but we'll get into the game nominations and more of my thoughts on it a little bit later. But if you haven't played Spider-Man 2 yet, play it. Buy it, play it, enjoy it. Let me know how that ride went for you in the comments, because it's a hell of a ride. Let me know, please. I'm begging you to tell me your experience, because I want to share that with you, because I'm feeling that same feeling that you're probably going to feel when you play the game. So, with that being said, before we move on to the Game Awards, real quick, GTA 6 finally produced an announcement. Rockstar produced an announcement. Guess what? GTA 6 is coming. Yay! We knew that. We didn't need an announcement. We didn't need an announcement for that. We all knew the game was coming. We just want a trailer. We've been wanting a trailer for 10 years. We didn't need you to come out and say, hey, guess what? GTA 6 is coming. We know. We don't need it. With that being said, I'm excited to get a trailer. If we actually get the trailer, I'm at the point of I'll believe it when I see it. But they say, hey, early December, it's official, and a trailer is coming. Now, what comes out in early December, everybody? That's right, December 7th, the Game Awards. That's the perfect spot to drop your trailer. You're gonna have multiple eyes all over the gaming industry watching the Game Awards. That's the perfect spot to drop it. Don't do it in a stupid State of Play or Xbox Live, some bullshit showcase. Drop the trailer at the Game Awards when you have the most eyes and the most hype for gaming. That's when you should drop it. Now, I have an issue with something that Take-Two, the parent company of Rockstar, they recently put out a little snippet of a quote that they believe that games should cost the amount of hours it takes to beat the game. So if it's an 100-hour long game, they want us to pay $100. But here's the kicker: if it's a 10-hour long game, they're still going to want us to pay $70. They're not going to drop down to $10 on a brand new game. So they're a little ass backwards with their thinking right here. Also, who are you to tell us how much to spend in gaming when the industry is telling us that games are $60, $70? Why you want to make it $100? That's going to set a precedence that every game after you is going to be $100. When you know damn well you don't need that $100, you're going to get shark card sales on day one of online. When you produced the long-awaited update of a new damn map, people are going to buy the game regardless to play the story, and then they're going to dive into that online. So you're going to hit them. You're going to get your $100 in a blink of an eye. You don't need to charge the base game $100. Charge me the $70, and then everybody that joins online that wants to have $7 million in their bank account before they even make their character, they're going to buy a shit ton of shark cards and make you a boatload of money like they've been doing for the past 15 years on GTA 5. Past 3 generations of consoles. You don't need to charge $100 for a video game. You're going to make that money. You also own the GTA RP server community now. The launcher that hosts all the GTA RP servers is now owned by Rockstars. They're gonna charge at some point, and this is probably gonna be the end of my RP gaming, is if they charge me a monthly fee to use their launcher to get into RP servers. If they do that, I'm out. I'm not RPing unless I really want to. Unless I'm like, damn, I want to do it, and I want to, meet up with some gaming buddies that I've been gaming for the past year and a half with, or 2 years, 3 years now. Shit. If everybody jumps back on that I'm cool with, and they want to do some RP, maybe I pay for 3 months, check it out, hang out, then cancel, come back in a week or come back in a couple months, pay the $10 fee or whatever the fee might be for that month. It's gonna be like a streaming service. I don't want to pay for Netflix this month. Cancel. It's gonna turn out to be like that. So they're gonna get their money from the RP community. They're gonna get their money from shark cards online. They're gonna get their money from the $70 that everyone's gonna buy GTA 6. This is the most anticipated game in all of gaming history at this point. It's not even close. Yeah, everybody's been waiting for Spider-Man 2, but literally everybody has been waiting for GTA 6 since 10 years ago. So stop being greedy. Give us a damn trailer at the Game Awards. Stop bullshitting us. And let's get it. All right. It is time. It is finally time. We are going to go through. We're going to go through relatively quickly our votes for the Game Awards. Let me just pull it up here. In 3, 2, 1. Boom. What up? If you are watching me on Twitch or YouTube, what's good, everybody? I am on camera, and we are going to go through all the nominees, all the categories, and pick our winners. And we're gonna get through the esports thing pretty quickly. I don't know why it was all the way at the end. They should have started with esports. For some reason, the website started with Game of the Year, and I didn't want to start with the Game of the Year right away. I want to go through all the categories until I get to the Game of the Year. So esports, this is such like such a category that I could care less about. I don't hate esports. I think they're awesome, but I just don't watch it like I watch the NFL or stuff like that. Like, I'm not into it like that. So I don't know who the players are. I don't know who the coaches are. So for this one, the best sports event, I've never played League of Legends. I don't know what that is. Evo just always seems like a cool event to me. Dota, Valorant, I don't play these, so I'm gonna go Evo. That's my vote. Boom, lock it in. Best esports coach. Let's see what their names are. Yoon Homie Sung Young. Is it home or homie? Remy. Okay. Jordan Goomba. Danny Zonic Sorensen. Christine Potter Chi. Let's go. Florida Mayhem Overwatch. Team Vitality Counter-Strike. JD Gaming League of Legends. Team Falcons Counter-Strike. Evil Geniuses Valorant. So Falcons, Florida Mayhem. I like it. We're going Goomba. Shout out to Goomba. All right. Moving on. Best esports team. Evil Geniuses Valorant. Fnatic Valorant. Gaming Gladiators Dota 2. League of Legends JD Gaming. Counter-Strike Team Vitality. Team Vitality. Best esports athlete. Faker. Zywoo. Demon. Hydra. Ruler. Imperial Hal. Apex Legends, League of Legends, Call of Duty, Valorant, CSGO, League of Legends. Hydra. Call of Duty. Let's go Call of Duty. Best esports game. Valorant, PUBG Mobile. Ugh. League of Legends, Dota, Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike 2 is new. All these have been out for a long time. So I'm going to pick Counter-Strike. I'm going to do recency bias. Content Creator of the Year. Cypher PK, Spreen, Quackity, People Make Games, Iron Mouse. People Make Games sounds cool. All right, now we're getting into the games. Let's do it. Are you ready? Most anticipated game. How the hell do you not have GTA 6 as the most anticipated game? I don't know. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Hades 2. A lot of people love Hades 1. I haven't played it yet. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Star Wars Outlaws. And Tekken 8. I'm going to say, as much as I love Star Wars, I'm going to say it's between Tekken 8 and Hades 2. And I'm going to go Hades 2. Everybody loved Hades 1. And I got to play it because all I hear is good things about it. Best adaptation. Castlevania, Gran Turismo, The Last of Us, Super Mario, no. And Twisted Metal. Sony. I loved Twisted Metal. It was so good. So good. I just got done telling you how good Gran Turismo is and how much of a great movie that is. And how you should watch it immediately. And how you should watch it this weekend. Nothing's going to beat out Last of Us. It is probably the best adaptation we've ever gotten for a video game. Gran Turismo is not really an adaptation. It's more of a telling of a real story that happened. And not so much the game, but real life. Twisted Metal, that's an adaptation for real. And it was dope. It was a good time. It was funny. The action was dope. But The Last of Us was basically a 1-to-1. It was a 1-to-1. And I can't see anything ever beating that. Except for maybe season 2. Because we're going to get into some crazy stuff with season 2. And you'll know what it is if you play The Last of Us Part 2 Remaster. Shout out to you, Naughty Dog. Get your money, bro. So yeah, it's Last of Us in a landslide. Best multiplayer game. We got Baldur's Gate 3, which everyone is saying is going to win Game of the Year. Diablo 4, which is apparently getting some heat. Party Animals, Street Fighter 6, and Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I'm gonna say for a multiplayer game, I feel like it's between Baldur's Gate and Super Mario. I feel like Street Fighter 6 could possibly win the best fighting game. But best multiplayer game, I'm going to have to say it's either going to go to Mario or Baldur's Gate. And if Baldur's Gate's going to be this big of a powerhouse and win multiple awards, this might be where Mario sneaks out a dub. So I'm going to go Mario there. Best sports game / racing game. We have The Crew Motorfest, Hot Wheels Unleashed, Forza Motorsport, F1 23, EA Sports FC 24. Because they can't say FIFA anymore. These are all racing games, and this is the only sports game nominated. I would say The Crew is probably a no. Hot Wheels, I don't know. I wasn't crazy about The Crew. Forza always does numbers. It's always a powerhouse for Xbox. F1 23. That's probably a fun game, but I haven't played it. And everybody loves FIFA. I don't know how EA Sports FC 24 is. So I'm going to go Forza. I'm going to give Xbox the win right there. Best sim / strategy. Advanced Wars 1 and 2. Cities Skyline 2. Company of Heroes 3. Fire Emblem Engaged. Pikmin 4. I'm going to go City Skylines. Best family game. Disney Illusion Island. Party Animals. Pikmin 4. Sonic Superstars. Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I feel like it's going to be Super Mario Bros. Wonder. And now I want to change my vote in the other category. but we'll stick to it. Disney Illusion Island, Super Mario, Party Animals. I'm gonna go Party Animals. Best fighting game: God of Rock, Mortal Kombat 1, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2, which I heard was fantastic, Pocket Bravery, Street Fighter 6. I feel like it's between Combat and Mortal Kombat 1 and Street Fighter 6. Everybody was hyped for Mortal Kombat 1. I have yet to really hear a lot about the reviews. Are people enjoying it? Are they still hyped for it? I've been hearing good things about Street Fighter. I'm going to give Street Fighter the win here. The best RPG game. We have Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 16, Lies of P, which I hear is fantastic, Sea of Stars, Starfield. Starfield, this is their one nomination. This is how, if you've heard me talk about Starfield before the game came out, I told you that this game was going to flop hard. I told you that this game was going to be a piece of shit, and it pretty much is, and nobody's really liking it, and I'm surprised it even gets a nod here. Maybe because it's just the category that it's in, but this is the only nomination that Starfield's got. It's been a major disappointment for Xbox, and it's the one game that they've been hyping for God knows how long. So we're going to knock that off. Sea of Stars, I'm going to knock off. I'm going to say Final Fantasy 16. I heard good things, but I'm going to knock you off, and it's going to be Lies of P or Baldur's Gate, and I'm going to give Baldur's Gate the win there. Because everybody, and I mean everybody that I've talked to, it's all about Baldur's Gate. The best action adventure game: Alan Wake 2, Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Alan Wake 2 I heard was cool. It's in the Control universe, if you played the game Control. I haven't played this yet though, but I'm hearing good things. Spider-Man 2, masterpiece. Resident Evil 4, it's a remake. Remakes and remasters should not get nominated. I don't care. This story has already been told. This game's already been played. You should not be nominated for the best action adventure game of the year when this story was already told 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, I'm still playing through it. I took a break from it and jumped on Spider-Man and GTA and stuff like that. So I got to get back to it, but I've been loving this game. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, it's a DLC for Breath of the Wild. It's nothing crazy. It's just another Zelda game that they're milking every dollar out of your pocket. So I'm gonna give it to Spider-Man 2. Fantastic story, fantastic adventure, fantastic action. That is the winner. Hands down. Best action game: Armored Core 6, Dead Island 2, Ghost Runner 2, Hi-Fi Rush, Remnant 2. I've been hearing nothing but good things about Hi-Fi Rush. Ghost Runner 2 looks very cool. Dead Island 2, I'm just kind of over zombies. Haven't really heard much about Remnant, and a buddy of mine loves Armored Core 6, but I'm gonna give it to Hi-Fi Rush. All I hear about this game is it's fantastic. Best VR AR: Gran Turismo 7, Horizon Call of the Mountain, Humanity, Resident Evil Village VR mode, and Synapse. I'm gonna say Resident Evil takes the win there. Having horror in your eyes, whew, The Immersion. Best mobile game. Hello Kitty Island Adventure. Monster Hunter. I'm gonna go Final Fantasy. Best debut indie game. Cocoon, Dredge, Pizza Tower, Venba, Viewfinder. I'm gonna go Pizza Tower. That just sounds fun. Best independent game. Cocoon, Dave the Diver, Dredge, Sea of Stars, and Viewfinder. 2 nominations for Viewfinder, Sea of Stars, Dredge, and Cocoon. All these games. Dave the Diver is the odd one. It looks kind of fun though. Like just off this picture, it looks like it could be a funny game. I'm gonna go Dave the Diver. That's my logic, don't question it. Best community support. Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy, No Man's Sky. Oh boy. Alright, so No Man's Sky was a piece of shit on release, and the devs finally fixed the game, apparently, and it's more enjoyable. Does it have a big community still? I don't think so. But hey, if they're doing their thing, they're doing their thing. Final Fantasy 14, everybody still plays this game. It's a hard game to beat. It's a hard game to beat because it's been around for a long time. Destiny 2, that's another game that's been around forever. If you know me, you know my history with Destiny. I love the franchise. I can't get behind Destiny 2, and Bungie fired their community managers. How is that best community support? So I'm just gonna say Destiny 2 is a no. Baldur's Gate, everybody's loving it, so they probably have the right support system. And Cyberpunk 2077, they came out of the gutter with flying colors. I'm enjoying the hell out of Cyberpunk 2077. The game released as a piece of shit, just like No Man's Sky did. And I'm gonna give it to Cyberpunk. I feel like it's probably Baldur's Gate, but hey, I'm gonna go with that. Best ongoing game: Apex Legends, Cyberpunk, Final Fantasy, Fortnite, and Genshin Impact. Fortnite just broke their viewership records and playership records because they dropped the year 1 map, the OG map. I'm just gonna go Fortnite. Everyone's riding high in Fortnite right now. Excuse me. So yeah, I'm giving Fortnite the dub. Games for Impact: Venba, Terra Nil, Chia, Goodbye Volcano, Chance of Sinar, A Space for the Unbound. I'm gonna go Terra Nil. Sure. Innovation in accessibility: Diablo 4, Forza, Hi-Fi Rush, Marvel Spider-Man, Mortal Kombat 1, Street Fighter 6. Probably Spider-Man. Best performance: Ben Starr from Final Fantasy 16. Cameron Monaghan from Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I love that dude, man. He's such a great actor, and he kills it in the video game. Idris Elba in Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. Haven't gotten to it yet. Didn't see his character, but I'm sure he crushes it. He's a great actor. Melanie Libbard from Alan Wake 2. Neil Newborn from Baldur's Gate 3. Yuri Lowenthal from Spider-Man 2. Put it in the books. Yuri's a god. He's a god. Give my boy Yuri the roses. Best audio design. Alan Wake 2, Dead Space, Hi-Fi Rush, Resident Evil 4, Spider-Man 2. Best audio design. Best in-game audio and sound design. I'm gonna go Alan Wake 2. Best score in music. Zelda. Let me guess, it's the same. Like, just the same Zelda tunes you've been hearing for the past 30 years. I'm good. Hi-Fi Rush. Alan Wake. Final Fantasy. Baldur's Gate. I'm gonna go Baldur's Gate. Best art direction. Best art direction. Let's copy and paste our games and get best art direction. Liza P, Hi-Fi Rush, Alan Wake 2. I'm gonna go Hi-Fi Rush because it's unique looking. Best narrative. Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk, Final Fantasy 16. No. This is the only narrative you'll ever want to play. This is it right here. Best game direction. Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3. Awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. Like, come on, bro. Game of the year. I'm gonna say no. 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 Here's the thing. Zelda beat out a game it should have never beaten the first time around. But the Nintendo fans came in the masses and voted for Zelda. We have a Mario game here. So the Nintendo fans are going to be divided. So they're going to cut their votes in half. So they're out. They're out. Resident Evil 4 is not going to doesn't hold a candle to these three up here. Alan Wake 2, I gotta play it. I hear great things. Baldur's Gate 3, I'm gonna have to play this game because everybody tells me it should win Game of the Year. But I'm gonna tell you, there's gonna be an upset. Everyone's gonna freak the fuck out, okay? And Spider-Man 2 is your Game of the Year for 2023. It's my Game of the Year. It's your Game of the Year. It's everybody's Game of the Year. Spider-Man 2 is going to win this. It's going to knock out some dubs across the board here. And like I said, I'm trolling a little bit, but this game truly is a masterpiece. I said it before, the action, the fight scenes, the dialogue, the the actors, the acting, top notch. The writing was top notch. The dialogue, just the storyline in general, just top notch. From start to finish, the side missions, random people on the street. The city was more lively than it was in the previous games. The way you can traverse a large city that's even more expanded with the addition of Queens and Brooklyn. The way that you can get between everything using wind tunnels, web gliders, swinging. You can ski on the water. Like, they thought of every which way you can get somewhere. Every character played a major role in this game. Between the villains, the heroes, the side characters, the side villains, like, you guys really need to play this game if you haven't yet. And if you don't have a PS5, $4.99 at GameStop, at Best Buy, at Target, at Walmart, at Amazon, at PlayStation Direct. $4.99 gets you Spider-Man 2 for free. Your Game of the Year edition. Get after it. And that's it. I think that's it. Boom. Yeah, they're all done. You've reached the edge. Dope. And that'll do it. So yeah. Spider-Man 2 is your Game of the Year. The Game Awards is December 7th. We will be live on this channel. And we're going to react live to all the announcements, the trailers, all the winners. And we're going to tally. We're going to keep a tally of how many we got correct. I think I did pretty good this year because I think Spider-Man is going to win a lot, and it should, in my opinion. But if Baldur's Gate sweeps, then we're losers, apparently. But whatever, is what it is. I think Sony hasn't won in the last few years, and they put out such a banger of a game, and it's closer to the Game Awards than Baldur's Gate 3 is. So I think there's going to be more recent bias involved here. And the fact that Nintendo fans are going to be splitting their hairs between Mario and Zelda, it might lower, it might give Spider-Man that boost because, let's be real, if it was just Zelda probably beats everything and it has no business of beating it. So we'll see what happens. But December 7th, at what time? I think it's at 7:30, and I think it runs for 3 hours. So we will be live on the channel at 7:30. Will we get GTA 6 trailer? I think we will. They announced it beginning of December. That would be the beginning of December and the perfect time to announce a trailer, their game and everything. So, but yeah, so thank you. Thank you. If you are listening on a podcast platform and you want the visual experience of me picking all the games and going through everything, feel free to hop over to our YouTube. If you're watching me on YouTube and Twitch, thank you very much. Make sure you hit the follow button on Twitch. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Hit that follow button on your podcast platforms. Keep up to date with all things gaming and entertainment and whatever else we want to talk about. That's going to do it for me, Gen Nation. This has been episode 25 of the Multiversal Podcast. Deuces, we out of here.